I'm here on stage with Coach Frod. Massive win for you guys against Fnatic in map 1. You know, what were basically some of the strengths that you felt like you guys had in that series versus Fnatic that allowed you guys to be able to pick up that big map win?
Fnatic's an excellent team. They're constantly adapting and making some changes. So I felt like for us, we were kind of aware of some of their like audible plays and stuff like that. So it was a big focus for us to try and get in their face a little bit, slow the clock down a little bit, make sure the time's in our favor. And you know, I think the guys did an excellent job of holding utility, having our communication up, and you know, just trying to cancel all of their execs as much as we could.
Yeah. Confidence up for map 2?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know that Lotus, they're a very good team on that map, but I think we're the only team that's ever beaten them on that map, so hopefully to run it back. All
right, well, Coach Frod, always a pleasure, my man. Appreciate you as always. Back to you guys.
Oh, the revenge match is on. As you guys heard from Frod there, excellent all around for Loud. I'm Yingster, I'm back here with Mimi and Baller. Honestly, after the first few rounds, it felt like Loud was just fully in control. And Baller being able to close that out as well without going OT was absolutely crucial for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first half set the tone. 6-6 is already fantastic on attack side. But like Frod said, slowing things down, making sure people had their util was exactly the key to counter Fnatic because they were playing very slow when it came to their attack side.
And Loud was excellent, in particular with the game plan, I think, in these pistol rounds to get that early momentum going. In both halves, I thought Loud came in with a really good idea. That second half pistol round, round 13 in particular, was so impressive to me, where they're stacking double backside, reading the B hit that was about to come in from Fnatic and completely punishing it. It feels like the best Loud that I've seen in quite a long time.
Yeah, and this is surprising given that Fnatic in the group stages was 80% on pistol win rates. It's been something that they've focused on a lot, and now you're seeing Loud in that Champions 2022 form where they were focusing on pistols a lot, where Frod came into the team as an assistant coach back then, and they always have really good ideas. Although this one is a variation on one I've seen quite a few times, so surprised to see Fnatic be so slow and cautious on trying to retake in the backside in that situation.
But that's the thing, I feel like this was unlike Fnatic in a lot of those rounds, late rounds, where people are taking individual risks, getting punished, and Loud was able to take advantage of that and build momentum. I think in particular, that round where Les managed to stick the spike in a 1v3 because there was a miscommunication without someone swinging. There was a lot of those little mistakes from Fnatic that we don't normally expect from them that I think really punish them here in a close map of Ascent.
I mean, we spoke about how a lot of teams don't pick Ascent into them, but that felt like great preparation from Loud and a fantastic pick. Let's take a look at Durka and Aspas as well with their stats, because coming into this, Mimi, this was a very highly anticipated matchup, and my God, Aspas, he is on form.
Well, I've missed this Aspas for so long, but he's back. Like, this is the guy who was the America's MVP.
Yeah, he's been having pretty decent games on Ascent overall. I remember the game in group stage against DRX. It's just not been consistent throughout an entire series. This is phenomenal from him, though. I mean, we already saw some of the pistol rounds. Huge impact there. For Durka, I'm looking at a guy who had massive impact, I think, in that first hop with his op, but couldn't get anything more than that going. And that was definitely a problem late in the game where he was struggling to get impact and honestly dying a lot in those first situations.
Yeah, those late rounds in particular, it came down to a lot of clutches with him and Boaster, with those guys who have been on this team forever. And it honestly felt like we were rewinding to Champions before, where Fnatic has had games slip away from them.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, though, they managed to bring it back to a 13-11 when Loud won both pistols and the first bonus.
Yes.
So not at the end or be all. And if we take a look at the aim lab shoot around right now and check in on Alpha Baller, the player that despite his team losing on this map was giving his all.
Oh, I mean, he definitely was, you know, that Les versus Alpha battle was going on, and I was like, Alpha is absolutely destroying in this game. He is the reason why that was close at the end. You mentioned the 13-11 scoreline. It was because of some of those clutches that Alpha and Leo got. The patience that those two have and the communication that they have is insane. You can tell in the server, which is very impressive. I need to see him continue that on Lotus, and I think we will.
I think there's kind of two sides to saying, like, oh, wow, this was close. Like, right, you can say that Fnatic, they lost the pistols, they lost the bonus. It's great that they rallied it back to 13-11. Or you can look on the other side that Alpha and Leo were playing the way they did, and they still didn't win. But we're already into the Prime Gaming Agent select for Lotus. And like Frod mentioned, Loud is the only team to have beaten Fnatic here.
Yeah, and this is Fnatic's home ground, Baller. If there's any place that they can come back into this series, it is Lotus.
Yeah, I think when you think back to that lock-in finals where Loud was able to take down Fnatic. I think that was a Lotus that was so much different. Fnatic has added so much more into this. The one thing I'll have to mention here, though, is we did see this Lotus from Loud in group stage. It looked okay, and they are adopting the Fnatic-esque comp without the Astra that Boaster plays on this map.
Yeah, I'm looking on the side of Fnatic for how they're controlling, in particular, A lobby. You'll see once they have money, getting that Odin up, spamming, and really holding on to that space. Loud, they have this change comp that a lot of people have been running, a variant on the Fnatic comp, with the Omen in the mix, which can help you to get that early extremity control, having a TP across. But it's going to be interesting to see if Loud can take down the team who has defined Lotus this year. They're on a 10-map win streak for Fnatic.
Yeah, only one team has ever beaten this Fnatic roster, and that was Team Liquid. Loud, could they do this today? Saisho and Bren, I can't wait to see it.
We're about to find out. Yeah, I mean, Loud, they've already... difficult task as well. They take map number 1, but now they're heading into that familiar territory for Fnatic of Lotus. And that's a map that Bala was mentioning that it's just been iterated on throughout the entirety of the regular season to this point now, really. It's honed almost the perfect weapon for Fnatic.
They've only lost Lotus once, ever. And that was in the finals of Lock-In. And it was an absolute shock that it occurred there. Loud were playing Viper Harbor. They were playing Sky. They were playing Jet. It was nowhere near the composition that Loud are currently bringing out. If anything, Fnatic have just continued to get better and better and better, as you're saying, and Loud have been forced to go in a more similar style with their composition. And now they are the pretenders, trying to catch up with what Fnatic are doing here. This is going to be a very tough map if Loud want the 2-0.
Well, let's get to it here. Our first pistol round of Lotus. Map number 2. Already fast beginning here for Loud. Smokes popped up in their faces, but they're going to be giving them easy access to the A side. Full clearance out towards Tree, and Fnatic playing off side there for the retake. Nade still being held for Aspas. He saved it. Not for a rainy day, probably when the flood tries to come through. Bit of a tap to bait it. 3 players in Tree might get awkward though. That's why the door's rotating. Need to reposition from this one.
Alpha versus Less happening over here by the breakable door.
Door broken. Less, spots it. And, wow, taking a new angle. With Alfia falling, that could be more than a difference maker. Still revealed. Multiple players tucked into Tree. Nade, a lot of damage being done. A lot of players weak from Loud, and Les still might have to be that difference maker. Smoke in their faces! And it's all Fnatic just falling to pieces.
Every pistol round won by Loud so far.
Yep.
They really are looking like they're in that Champions form from last year. As Parla was saying, when they were winning every pistol. And I completely agree with the desk. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Ascent went the way of Loud. The gun rounds were 10 and 6 in favor of Fnatic on our first map. That's incredible that the map ended up going the other way.
It's the pistol rounds and the bonus conversions that made the difference for Loud.
We saw Loud's economy getting stretched so much because Fnatic was so good in those rifle situations.
Here's a fight, here's a skirmish and a bit of a brawl, but Loud seeking to contain. Put a stop to it, and that is a lovely target for all the kills to be funneled up on. Kawazin's like, get off that orb.
Yeah, exactly. Nightfall is going to be available for the next round. I mean, Kawazin can just decide to try and hunt, and whether or not he dies or whether he gets the kill.
There's 2 more orbs.
Yeah, they could just go hunting for orbs too. I mean, they could go hunting for orbs in the next round. Either way, they're going to pretty much have a guaranteed major ultimate to be able to win their bonus round.
Always an awkward spot when you're the last alive on an eco round with Shorty.
I love the way that Boaster's sprinting over to the A side,
yeah, I mean,
trying to get some value out of it, hunted down with the
There's
Prowler.
a Prowler in his face. He's trying to bait them up close. The top of the site, but contain, drop down. He's making a go of it, but that is incredibly clean.
And Kawazin gets the spike plant for the Nightfall online. So Loud easily cleaning up that anti-eco situation and setting themselves up for more momentum. This is where Fnatic have got to win the round. It might seem like a trivial thing to be talking about when we're only 3 rounds into Lotus, but this is how Loud generated that momentum and won on Ascent. If Fnatic are going to be beaten at this point when they're still incredible in rifle round situations, it's through situations like this. It's by creating momentum against them.
Maybe they can convert it to Nightfall there, but here we go. Oh my God! Is that an attempt, a chance to try and fight over it? Spamming into the corner. No amount of nerdy lineups will save you from this one. It's a deficit of 2 players now.
Those
Plant is
are
down.
some ridiculous shots. Fnatic have got all the pressure on them currently, and the Nightfall didn't even have to be used.
Aspas doesn't know about the cross though. Already into the back of the side. That's Alfie. He's dropped down. Hasn't made any noise about it, but now spotted as well. But that shot rattled off. Aspas is going to seek to contain. He does. Doesn't get messy. Doesn't get hairy. And there it is. One player left standing. It's Chronicle. Desperate to keep the rifle, but won't even get that. A Prime came in flawless. A bonus round conversion. It's part of the course from map number 1, but this is insane. They're doing it on arguably Fnatic's best map.
So I want to point out how Sadak is using his Viper Orb. Look at the positioning of this. It means that they can go straight from the Astra smoke into the Viper Orb whilst never getting caught by Leo's Haunt. This is a very specific anti to the way that Fnatic like to play towards A, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take for Fnatic to realize this. Loud are getting a lot of space for free just by using that Viper Orb in a slightly different spot, and by Fnatic using a smoke that kind of helps Loud take space at this point. They're like caterpillaring their way through to rubble, using their opponent's smoke utility.
Just hiding from the Horn the whole time. B main control is lost. Lots of weapons in Fnatic's hands where they could really do some spam damage as well if they've got the right angles for it. There's a Guardian in the hands of Leo, the Sheriff's on top of it. Nade rebounding, they want to try and fight all the way over this one. And look at this, big to pieces, left into the 2 versus 2. Chronicle backs away, damage. Definitely done to 2 years, a single shot would bring him down just on the Marshall. Plant, anything to push this off. Tucked to the corner close enough, and it is being covered still. Plant there, and a chance. More than that, Boaster still is up against the doubled up position of the Loud players. The smoke's being watched, so definitely got messy.
There was some nice shots hit there from Leo and from Boaster, but not enough to be able to overcome the rifle advantage that Loud have created. And now Loud are getting so close to so many ults. They haven't even had to use the Nightfall that Kawansing got online in round 2. Now they're going to have Showstopper, they're going to have Lockdown. These are the 3 biggest offensive tools that you have to put pressure on Fnatic. And Fnatic find themselves in almost exactly the same spot they were on Ascent.
Yeah.
Defending against a team that is creating a snowball of economy and ult advantages against them. And stealing their own strategies with the Odin, by the way.
Yep, the spam onto the line of side corner, there will be no early challenge.
Sadak has been watching the VODs. You can see the prep dripping off everything he does.
It's the #1 thing that really teams should have been taken away from Fnatic this entire time. Maximizing the usage of it. Prowler out towards Tree.
And here comes Aspas picking up the Showstopper.
And here it is, huge ult with Durka falling.
That's just spammed through a smoke, I think. Though it's possible Durka had tucked in the corner trying to take a fight. That's a disaster. The first deaths really hurting Fnatic on Ascent as well. Durka on the attack side it was at that point, finding it difficult to generate advantages. Nightfall, it's a fake, but it doesn't see anyone, so do Loud pivot.
Do they want to commit to this?
Oh, what a mess.
Boaster, hold on. It's crouch and spamming, cleaving into the wall. What is the approach from Loud here? Bit of a pump fake. He's collected a second one on that. Okay, got to try and get a move on though if you are Loud here. 3 versus 3. Boaster's made this more than winnable. Nade, getting out the one section of this one, but really it's going to have to be a post plant played on site. Boaster has the Cosmic Divide. It's earned up. Everyone off the site though.
Cosmic Divide does not stop a Showstopper though.
That is true.
That rocket will fly straight through.
Enough to earn them that space though. Did they even want to try and commit this ult? Looks like they should be. There it is. Cosmic Divide. As soon as they drop down though, Showstopper unleashed. Fuse starting to burn down and dwindle. Beautiful seas. Rocket to the side. There's nowhere to run. Not for Chronicle to survive that. And it's tucked just to the side on top of it. Fnatic, you've got too many angles to watch for here. Really nice post-plant positioning. Leo's taken out.
They had given up by that point. Leo was just trying to escape and was denied the opportunity. Boaster had already made the call to flee. Loud are looking sublime here. People were wondering if Fnatic even could be beaten. And Loud are laying the roadmap.
Oh yeah. I think back as well earlier, you know, we were seeing the piece of all the teams at the beginning of the day, Boaster talking about it. You know, winning 2 titles in a row, you have a title or a target on your back.
And he also said, Boaster said, I know we're going to lose at some point. You can't just always win. The question is it going to be today? Can they rebound in this moment after losing map 1 in very close fashion and going down 5-0 to start on their home territory of Lotus? They've only ever lost here once. It was at the start of the year against this same opponent running a very different style. And at that moment too, if you think back to lock-in, one of the most incredible things about the fact that we were even on the final map in this situation was that both teams had won on their opponent's home territories. You had Fnatic winning on Ascent, and then you had Loud coming back, being able to win on Split, actually, which is our third decider map here today. But then also Lotus, and they looked like they were poised to be able to take the trophy in front of a Brazilian crowd on Icebox, which there has never been more of a home map for Fnatic than Icebox. Loud are always finding those ways to be able to put the pressure on Fnatic that other teams can't.
Right there.
What weapons they've saved up now. Timeout. Talking it through.
That'll work.
Wondering what they can really do into this one.
Leo's brought down to 700 here, so
There's no armor
really
with the Guardian.
Yeah, well, his economy's really stretched. He's just going for a Guardian light armor, and he can't really use all of his utility either.
Classic Haunt over the top there to try and take some of that space. Just seeing shots fired here. Door opens up wide. Alpha, that is maybe overstepping himself. Hello. That's a spike drop down. Potentially hurt there just from the spam. And Boaster, he's doing work with the Odin.
Makes things awkward for Les. The door opening is just so good, but Durka punishes Cowan for going for it.
Yeah, it's a little bit all over the place right now for Loud here. And Fnatic
There.
skilled enough
You should
to be able to make the rounds winnable. Lockdown. Will be placed down. Durka making a go of this one now to reposition. Aspas just making sure that he holds that one area of the map. There's a detainment online. I want to head back over towards C, straight into Durka. Plenty of chances, but no connection, at least no kill.
And Les really sharp there, being able to take down Durka. The fight's happening in spawn. Good double face.
Yeah, lovely response there by Leo with the trade. Now he's got the knife. Does he really seek to use this? Yes, it's a 2v2. Wants to make a go of it. It's just left up to Leo. You can see where the trail is pointing him into the corner. Dodge to the side. Les is not lacking the confidence.
Both Killjoy players absolutely popping in this series so far. Les versus Alpha is a battle to watch. Alpha dominated the first map. He's been caught out a couple of times to start here on Lotus, and Les has taken over. Absolutely taken over. One of the big win conditions for Loud being able to start that reverse sweep attempt at lock-in too was Les having phenomenal maps on Lotus and on Split.
Same beginning with the Haunts. Dropped. Snakebite causing a bit of vulnerability, but front section of A, rubble control. It's gained and held by Loud. Oh, as soon as that door is pressed! Yeah, that is cheeky.
That's fantastic. Fnatic continue to iterate.
Here's Durka, operated not revealed. Alpha close to the corner! And the movement couldn't land the third. It was traded, but Durka was instantly there. The peak from main.
And threats on either side of the map. The kind of short and close setup from Fnatic there towards Mound. And then Boaster spamming through towards Switch on A. No matter where you go, Fnatic have got good ideas, and this, the first to be able to put a round on the board by the look of things.
There's definitely money to make a go at this if you are Aspas. Economical damage is good on top of it.
Left.
You are right, Josh. It's looking like locked up here. First round win for Fnatic on Lotus.
And if you think back to Ascent, this is a similar kind of situation. Loud were able to get 4 in a row. Fnatic answered back, I believe, with 5. It'd be difficult for Fnatic to be able to do that here again, and they have less rounds to work with.
10
Loud
seconds left.
already finding 6 and the momentum in their favor. But we have seen Fnatic go on streaks, especially if they start to figure out how Loud are playing.
Yeah.
And not only does Boaster get the kill onto Sadak there, but they also realize that the presence on A was a fake.
Okay, I only have like
Door open,
7
Sadak
to
dies,
8
there's no
minutes.
follow-up whatsoever.
Hopefully.
So these are the kind of things that Boaster will be reading into. And certainly, Loud are going to be more diligent with how they take that area of the map again. Alpha's picked up an AWP.
It's going to be up to him to try and lock down that C angle. Straight down towards Mao. No one going to be facing though, not early on. Loud grouped up. Down towards B. One's not broken, it's a stack from Fnatic, and the door's broken, so starting to flood back into this one with a showstopper in the hands of Durka. If there is any presence here, they want to go for it. Okay, why not? Straight into them! Blown to pieces, it's a bloodbath in main. That proactivity, you love to see it.
And there's the value of having the Astra on the team. Tui's playing Omen here, but Boaster just looks amazing with all the ideas he has around the map. Les trying to make something happen against a weak Chronicle, but taking a fight against Leo, and Leo's good for it. Cleaned up. What a play by Fnatic. What a call on that from Boaster and Durka. That is excellent stuff.
That's where Fnatic really excel, I think, as well, just those defensive ideas.
Oh, I mean, the C's too, just in case there's anything happening in that kind of area.
Loving it. Set up. Pull from Boaster on the Astra. Yeah, it's only 2 so far for Fnatic, but knowing this team, going to be going down easily, not in this half. Here's another fight yet to be taken.
Yeah, massive one.
Potential for
Where are we?
Sees Nane, just a haunt that's taken care of. Still the molly behind them. There's 4 players seeking to really meet them on top of it. Sees was dodged. Nade sent flying as well. This is really precarious and really a fight that you just can't afford to lose. 2 years falling now. We're going to try and pivot. Potentially, Les is making noise towards main. He has pulled players out, open, into the wide angles.
Les knows that there's 2 players over here, and Loud are going to try to punish.
fine.
On the other side, though, Kawanzine dropped. And Boaster slips away without getting punished by the squeeze from Breakable Door and main. This attempt to react from Loud has now turned into a lurk play.
Chronicle is worried about stairs. He's actually not watching the one side here. Sadak should be set up for that. Yep, it's a freebie.
He might be able to pit here and make this a very difficult retake for Fnatic, despite the numbers situation.
Well, they do still have the lockdown, so they do pit. Probably going to see that space being played for now. Boaster and Alfie are playing together. It's important to get the lockdown off. The Loud have a play in mind to try and disrupt this one. It's going to push them all the way into Durka. Out towards the edge.
Durka's actually moving away.
They don't want to fight over it, yeah.
Clearing out Heaven instead.
Cosmic Divide just going to be used to block off that one particular portion. Another Nana Swarm. There, decay damage. Boaster is really getting chipped down, and low, but still Durka trying to defuse anything to push this away. It's a nade. Everybody's collected close to the corner. Time is ticking. Tick-tock, blast pack.
Aspas
Or
has
the
another.
util, and the pit has not fallen. Time is short. And Fnatic forced to just scurry away, back away.
What a round, what a recovery from Loud. Putting the squeeze on Fnatic despite the fact that they were down a couple of players. Sadak with his timing through the breakable door. Fnatic put early pressure A and then went to go and react into B. They knew that Les was applying pressure there, but I love that call from the IGL of Loud to be able to get himself in a position where he can hit Chronicle, who's worried because he's lost so much of the map information, and then pit in the post plant. They played that situation perfectly.
Fnatic just resorting to these all-out fights. Still stacked up over towards A.
Sadak is also just putting himself in a really nice spot with this Viper Orb.
2 players watching. Boaster's holding the crossfire, but no, it's out to the open. Durka thought it was clear. Boaster seeking as well to try and take the fight straight to him. Yeah, cut to the corner, and yeah, does land it. So evens it out eventually. 4 versus 4.
Aspas with the ultimate as well. This is going to be so difficult for Alpha to
Rocket
deal
up.
with.
Prowler! It's good and latched to the side.
That was a lot of damage on Alpha, but no kill.
No kill at all. Still 4 versus 4 plan. Start going down here, Kawazine. To disrupt him. Be able to get that one down as well, setting up to the post plan. Only 1 player onto Mound.
Well, this is a very aggressive post-plant position, though. They have Paranoia, they have Horn. This could really catch Fnatic off guard once they send it.
As soon as Util starts to get flying and flown straight into it, sees out to the back, Paranoia, the Horn, over to the top, not quite landing the lineup actually, disrupted ever so slightly, he's still making a go of it. Running away in, they just have to hit these shots as well. The utility has faded away, but again, it's time pressure, it's ticking away, and Alfia with the op forced once more. You gotta save it, you gotta back away, it's not winnable.
This has been a masterclass by Loud, finding every gap in the Fnatic setups, using their own utility against them to push Fnatic backwards, create openings, win post plants. If this is the form we are going to see from Loud now that they've hit the playoffs, no one will remember Tokyo.
Oh yeah.
Think back to last year. It was the same story. Loud bombed out in Copenhagen. Does anyone bring that up? No, because they won champions that year. They're the defending champions coming in to this tournament.
That's what all the talk's about, you know, the culmination of the year, the most important event of the year. It's what everybody sets their sights on. All that matters, being in the right form for it at the right time.
This, by the way, a Loud that has rebounded after getting smoked by DRX early on and playing some pretty limp Valorant. They're bringing their A game today. What a rivalry this has turned out to be. Yeah. I thought there was a serious chance that we might just see Fnatic tossing around Loud, playing with their food even perhaps. You know, the recent form in these tournaments has been so heavily one-sided towards Fnatic. And yet Loud, you always know, have this opportunity to rise back up. Made it towards the finals, almost had their hands on the trophy at lock-in. The winners in Americas where they just looked sublime. And they're playing some of their best today.
All the rumors as well swirling around this Loud team about just behind-the-scenes issues, problems of practice, the drama. Americas loves their drama.
Every family has drama.
Absolutely.
That's how Loud think about themselves.
But here we stand, it's 8-2, Loud firmly in the driving seat and more. Doesn't matter if they've fallen on hard times.
If Fnatic are able to get 4, though, at the end of this, with an attack-sided map, the way that these compositions work and the way that these IGLs call, it won't be too bad.
I think that's why you saw them take the timeout then as well. That was the second timeout being taken in the first half with only 2 rounds remaining.
Alpha's also just been getting pushed back, not able to find the value out of the operator. Forced back from one angle to the next. And again, getting more and more passive. The lockdown just being used to push the Opera even further backwards. But Loud are not hitting off this.
Yeah, obfuscating and hiding here, tucked to the corner inside the pit. There's a Prowler!
Wow, that's so good!
Just pre-firing it.
The lockdown pushes Chronicle into one half of his pit, and the Prowler gives away his location.
It's up to Poster now. With the OT in, this timing is ridiculous, Poster! Pushing forwards, of course, risks have to be taken, but now it's a 2 versus 4 plan. Down, Alfia, drop down silently. Returns with the 1. Durka with another. This is more than winnable. Nade, still in the back pocket. If he knows both these players now playing inside tree as well, rebounding. All the chances in the world.
What a smoke.
Yeah, smoking themselves off here. Just so that they can spam, just so that they can use the util vulnerable up, drop down onto low HP, but there's that nade. That's how important it was. Sadak to 1v2 for Fnatic. A nasty way to play it. Cut up the crosshair placement. Jumping right into his face.
The dream duo of Durka and Alpha secure what could end up being a vitally important round for Fnatic as we head close to the end of this first half. Attack-sided map, everything matters in this first. And finally we see the value coming out from Alpha. He's had a bit of a rough half so far. Probably his first of the entire tournament, actually.
No, guys. No, guys.
Yeah. Because Loud did do everything right in that last round. I mean, you're seeing pain on their faces, yet here it is. Last round here of our first half. Nade sent flying immediately straight towards them. Durka just running right through the Nana Swarms. Wants another go of it. Here it is, the pull, collecting them all. The ult prime for the taking. With the showstopper going flying, no kills. Only damage being done. Aspas.
Leo
dropping
stuck
and falling. Leo stuck to the corner, but still it's a 2v5. It doesn't matter if he's stuck, you're trapped in here with me! 4 rounds for Fnatic, a prime game in Flawless to finish the half. Is it gonna be enough?
Switching sides.
I think they may have just done enough for them to believe in the comeback. I mean, the recovery here and the confidence that they're still playing with, the form from Durka, Althea, and Leo just on his own, being able to win these duels. They've got chances. This is going to be a tough one for Loud to close again, as Ascent was.
Have a leader, a listen in from Sadak earlier as well, ahead of this match and this series. Let's take a peek.
Durante a série, a gente sabia, tinha certeza que vai ser muito difícil. Enquanto a gente entendeu bem como jogar contra eles, entendimos do jeito que eles gostavam de jogar os mapas. Acho que o que mais me surpreendeu foi como eles mudavam de ritmo, ou como eles mudaram de ritmo com os dois duelistas na bind. Porque passaram de jogar uma composição mais devagar com Sage a ter uma composição mais explosiva com Neon e com Haze. Então, isso nos tomou por surpresa, com certeza. Eu acho que os 3 controladores na Band funcionam bem. A gente treinou muito com eles, então sabíamos que é algo que funciona, não foi à toa que escolhimos. E realmente sabíamos que contra esse time vai ser bom.
I'm looking for the timing of these no commands and the lockdown. Sadak up close. He might have just ended the round right here without using anything. Look at him go.
Sadak with 4. Give him the ace. Les steals it, but it's a prime gaming Flawless for Loud anyway.
Comparado com a Champions passada, eu acho que me sinto com bem menos pressão. É realmente porque a gente está com jogadores novos. Estamos com galera que está começando a carreira competitiva. E o ano passado realmente já tínhamos jogadores experientes, a expectativa era um pouco mais alta para nós mesmos. Então me sinto mais leve. Quando são essas situações mais apertadas que é fazer ou morrer, eu gosto muito, para isso que a gente vive, né? Para jogar, para estar nessas situações que são difíceis e a gente ganhar. Então, muito feliz que dessa vez eu consegui superar esses desafios. Com certeza se sente muito bem e sim, realmente o jogo não acaba até que acaba, né?
Loud have eliminated 2 EMEA teams already in Group D, and now they're looking to knock Fnatic down to the lowers. We're about to head into the pistol. Loud have won them all so far, and this one may be defined by this clash towards Mound.
Oh yeah, it's already beginning, isn't it? One way set up, recall star.
Cautious from Fnatic.
Turret spotted, Sadak can't actually break that one. Was being watched. They're really trying to push this one, man. I mean, Aspas running for their own one way, for God's sake.
They were looking to go for the NRG play with the
trying
paranoia.
to squeeze them. It's being contained, though. The tower wasn't taken care of. Sadak ended up falling. He was tagged up, slowed to a crawl. Damage done. No kills found. Althea survives.
He's so weak. The reaction as well from Fnatic is almost impossible. They don't really understand where to go on the map. They're going to take the fight towards B.
Collected, though, and winning it. It's Chronicle and Leo. The most to do in this scenario, particularly Chronicle. He's had a rough one so far, this map, but that's a way to step all the way back up to the challenge. And more. This is Fnatic winning their first pistol round of the series. Well, it's looking like it.
And what a time to do it. After Loud have won 3 and snowballed those into bonus rounds and made things so difficult for Fnatic to start out each one of these halves when you need a comeback to occur, down 8-4. Fnatic deal with the aggression, and they're able to close things out here. Makes the comeback extremely doable.
Oh, yeah. Attack side of map.
I'm very impressed with how they dealt with this, too. There's a couple of missed shots, for sure, but there's still a lot of danger in that round. You know, Loud are coming out with some fantastic ideas on the pistol, and Fnatic are forced to respond. This is the first time they've actually been able to do that properly. Rifles up everywhere. 4 rifles? That is not normal.
All the bluster being shown. Up against the eco. Loud have got a bit of a pinch going on as well. I mean, they've taken B main control, holding towards C. Any
Looks like
signs of it? It's a trap play maybe off the paranoia?
Yeah, another paranoia being held by 2Es. This is one of the things that the Omen offers you that the Astra doesn't. We saw Boaster go for a couple of these plays with the pull, but the Paranoia is very good at being able to activate traps if you have somebody holding contact or a piece of Killjoy utility, or sometimes teams will do it off an orb.
Yeah.
Here, though, there doesn't seem to be too much danger. Remember, though, that Fnatic did end up getting squeezed by the clock a few times on ascent. And if they have a slower approach and Loud hold on to all of their utility, perhaps the same issue could rear its head here.
No one's going to be waiting to receive them, though, over towards C. I think the calling has done a good job here. It's pulled most of the Loud players out and over.
Little swap around there. Boaster taking the Marshal, looking like he wants to try and entry with it, so that if he goes down, Fnatic still keep those full rifles up.
There it is. Satchel through and across. Have to use the util here.
And this is very similar to the play that we saw actually broken down in that comms video.
It is, yeah.
Throw it up to the player to be able to get the plant down. Other people on Fnatic holding these angles. No Cosmic Divide for this one. And then Fnatic are going to be able to drop back into post plants. Loud's economy just isn't at the spot for them to be able to win this round, outside of some ridiculous Sheriff shots from Les and Aspas, but Les already hits the floor.
Swap guns again. It's Durka this time, though. He's trying to make a play for the ult. That's why he's doing it.
His sisterhood of the Traveling Marshal.
Yeah, I mean, what a hands exchange. It's crazy, but here we go. He'd love these kills here. Loud just seeking to try and go down to the spike here. Got to try and deny Durka his chance. They do. He's dropped, but still only 2 away now with that death.
Durka's ultimate is the one that Fnatic like to prioritize the most. Loud throw themselves into the abyss, making sure that they don't feed any of those ult orbs that end up being extremely important to the Fnatic game plan. Now, are we going to see Loud try and contest ult orbs? It's very common here for Boaster to call some kind of strategy that revolves around taking map control and Durka getting at least one of the orbs online.
Might be hard-pressed to do so. Lots of chances. I mean, there's literally 3 orbs on the map, so Fnatic could make a play for either one of them, but looks like just leaving Chronicle to watch over towards A. There will be a lot of utility probably sent flying on the Loud side of things. Onto the top of the boombot, bit of spam. Make sure nobody's crossed.
And now they can post up 2Es. This is again something you can do with the Omen that you don't find as much value with an Astra. And Fnatic do get that orb online on the opposite side of the map for Durka. Now Durka can try and play towards the B orb. You can see the kind of methodical way in which Fnatic approach the attack side, trying to maximize their advantages. Loud have read this, though.
Yeah, they're seeking to try and make a play towards it. Sees.
It doesn't
just
catch.
avoid it.
Very close, though. Is there another layer to this?
Not that much else when it comes to utility. And yeah, he's grabbed the orb, so now with the
40
ults
seconds
online,
spent to be able to get Durka his ultimate.
2 is holding close.
This lineup to try and remove 2Es from on top of Rubble.
They're going to fight it. Prowler, Paranoia, sent on top. Not a fight taken close towards it still. Tucked to the corner. Loud need to be really careful here. Again, because of that showstopper, you can see them finally realizing they have to respect it, but down to 35 seconds.
And at some point here, the time is going to become a little bit of an issue for Fnatic. It looks like they're set up for a B split. It's an A fake into a B hit, and there are 2 players waiting here.
Kawazin doesn't hit the shot. It's just crossed into him now. And let's see it. Nanoswarm's closed.
There goes the showstopper.
He revealed it. Yep, Durka's dropped. Sight's going to be theirs, though. Still, that plant will be able to go down. Nothing to really push this one off here. A few seconds to spare. Taking up positions once more. Chronicle watching Leo's back. Doesn't have to worry about the little door here. It's going to be that full retake from Loud. All back section of the site. Sending in the bullets flying their way. Alfie will fall here. There is a pull onto it. A tap to try and force and bait it out. First layer of that utility. It's going to be dragged out of them here, but Fnatic are just playing this so excellently. His diligence shown still. They bait Boaster out wide into the open. No more util! And it's all being covered. Just as I say it, it looked like Fnatic had a chokehold on it, but no. Loud, meticulous with that retake.
And also benefiting from the space that Fnatic give them on site. Fnatic are frequently playing their post plants off-site. And I think Loud know that. You know, the player that would be going aggressive and taking space is Durka. And when he falls, Sadak just calls for his team to take space in the site itself and post up towards the breakable door and towards B main, knowing that he can punish them once they swing to deny the taps. This is an excellently called map from Sadak. And we're still only 3 rounds difference. Durka didn't get a chance to use his Raze ultimate.
Only going to be one now, though.
Here it is.
Yep, as soon as it's fired off!
With the pull.
Catches.
Another masterclass play set up for there with Boaster's utility.
And Nade was meant to clear less, actually. He can still hold his ground. Bit of a missed attempt here. Still, there's so much in his face. 12 bullets left, and yeah, not watching for it. Sees.
How is he standing his ground against that?
It's ridiculous.
It's just waves of utility being thrown at his face, and yet Les still finds value and doesn't back off.
And they push behind him still. Aspas. He's holding it.
Raise
Doesn't
battle.
want to use the nade. Durka, he's eager to take the fight.
Leo gets his nightfall with this plant.
Taps it down. Needs to be a play being made for War. That is ridiculous. Aspas. Such a wide face, such a wide swing. Adjusting with the movement. Leo, though,
missed.
He's tucked close to this corner here. He's going to be stuck in this position. Has to take the fight, and he does not win it. Aspas still locking down Waterfall. It's a series of one-on-one duels being taken by Fnatic, but they are not winning them right now. Loud in immaculate form, out for you. He's got to come on live right here, right now. Tucked close to the corner. No one's actually putting that pressure on to try and stop this one. Snakebite at his feet. Forced to make a play. And it was all being held.
Aspas does an incredible job in the retake. Wide swings, takes out Durka, wins that duel. Then he wins another one against Leo after he misses his nade. Who needs a nade if you're hitting shots like this? Aspas took over on ascent, and he's doing the same here again. We have not seen a match recently, that I can remember at least, where Fnatic have lost this amount of the duels that they're taking. One of the advantages of having such a stacked roster is that the 50-50 situations go their way more often than a coin flip. Here, Loud are just taking control of those duels.
It's a seize nade off the rip. In that early conditioning that hasn't been sent flying, but there was nobody really there.
And for Loud, control of this area is even more important and even more useful because 2Es can linger in this spot. How do Fnatic root him out?
What are they going to be using? Through the smoke, it's going to be fading at any moment. Yet Prowler, Durka, Satchel up close! Near-sighted, but up close and personal. So he's going to be liking it in that scenario in particular. Aspas, you are greedy for this, man. There's really no safety there. Nade to clear out towards the corner, but a Satchel as well to disengage. Kawazine, he picks up the line of side angle.
Is it the percentage play for Aspas to take the fight? Maybe not, but he's got a hot hand and he's winning all the duels. He knows that he, at the moment, is going to be favored in those kind of spots.
You just cannot fold him for it. Not if he's winning it. Late, the Haunt revealing quite a bit. Maybe now the pressure is mounting.
Fnatic again allowing the clock to tick down. There's less than 30 seconds available, and Les is in a spot to be able to destroy any pivot to be. Aspas is one away from his nade again. If he gets another kill, there's 15 seconds.
This is done. They have to win the fight towards the back of the site with this little time as well. Stars drop down. Satchel for Aspas, doesn't seem to really use it, doesn't land the kill! It's out wide!
That's messy.
There was no coverage there. Kawazine going to try and survive now. Horn over the top is what his plan needs to be committed. I believe there was just 4 seconds. There is extension towards it. 2 versus 2. Fnatic desperate to stay in this one. Tucked into the corner now with a Horn back online. Leo and Boaster. Leo seeking to cross around. It's a slight angle. You can just see Sadak. But still towards the back. It's duels that need to be won. Forced out. Spamming, it's so damn precarious. Dropping down, Sadak rips away the hopes and dreams. Well earned to get themselves into that spot for Fnatic, but right now Loud are just in such ridiculous form.
Look at the way that Loud are playing with Fnatic in these post-plant situations. Loud are so cautious on the retakes. They're not sending it with a lot of utility, trying to flood in and get aggressive in their face. What they're doing is applying a small amount of pressure, and then Fnatic are the ones going for the swings. Loud are just holding angles, waiting for Leo and Boaster to get antsy in those spots and take a fight.
Vamos!
Loud are relying on their ability to hold angles and win favored duels. And it's Fnatic, actually, that are crumbling in these moments.
Maybe the pressure is getting to them, you know, the target on their backs. Now Odin played to spam that corner.
My ult is ready.
Aspas happy to just skip across and still lock and hold on to that A-Rob will control him in 2 years. Any attempt really by Fnatic. Hasn't really been working out to try and fight over there. Snakebite's good though. It's going to push 2 years a little bit wider. Still those shots rattled across. But for Loud, it really comes down to this fight. His nade is beautiful. They knew the Turka has crossed, and there's the punish. The call is made by Fnatic. They want nothing to do with this area. Backing away, but they've got no prior map control. None of the Killjoy utility broken. It's all still active, less with the alarm bot and the turret. It's all watching these corners. And look at Loud already flooding into position. They know which way this is going to be landing. The ults online is just impossibilities. Again, you need miracles from Fnatic. Otherwise, it's going to be Loud on series point. Time running short, less. That's the lockdown. Doesn't take the fight. Jump spot, Leo with the plans. Poster wins his duel. Straight up towards them, still it's traded. Lockdown going down now, but Leo's still here and active. They have to respect this though. No way to break it. Got to play off-site, and did he really have anything to deal with this? All being revealed up. Nanoswarm's being deaded very early on here. Stacked on top because they just really don't know if they're actually on this one. Smokes, these are brutal to get through. 2 years, sticking it onto half already. Nothing to break this at all. It has to be damaged, it has to be killed, and it's not in sight. Loud, they've got it all covered, every possibility. And series point on the horizon.
Fnatic with a plant spot that they just couldn't possibly play from as soon as the lockdown came through. The ultimates are overwhelming. Fnatic are struggling to come up with plans to deal with them. And the retakes come through thick and fast. The slow squeeze is too much for Fnatic to deal with right now, despite their best efforts. There are 4 Guardians coming back into this. Loud have a chance to close things out 2-0 here.
This could end right here, right now. Dirk with a satchel up top. Horn, not broken in time, reveals him up close to the corner here. Gotta land the shots! The nade's done the damage. Where is it? A response needs to be made, and it's just not there!
The lurk play by Boaster up through B. If anybody could save them, perhaps it would be him.
But already it's the wraparound. I mean, Les is already behind him. It's all up to Boaster. And this is it. A single round stands before them. A single player stands before them. But Loud are on the cusp.
This would be Fnatic's second ever loss on Lotus, both to Loud, and their second loss ever, only Liquid being able to take down this super team before. And they went and won the EMEA trophy. Loud know it, they can feel it. There's one player left, soon to be cleaned up. And Loud have done it, a 2-0 to take out Fnatic in the first match of playoffs here at Champions.
Loud may have fallen on hard times, but old habits die hard. They have come into rare form at the beginning of playoffs. Celebrations abound. And Fnatic, listen, we came into this series wondering who was going to be the team to test them. Maybe we should have really read it all along. Loud have come out swinging.
I did think Fnatic would bend a little before they broke. And yet here, a 13-6 loss on Lotus. Masterclass performance from Sadak. There's still time for Fnatic, but if they want to be able to 3P, if they want to be able to get another trophy to add it to the cabinet and make this a serious era, a dynasty, they are going to have to run the longest route back to the finals. For Loud, they have just changed the course of history, I think, here today. In a similar fashion to that Locking Grand Finals, Loud have shocked the world and showcased that their form is back on top. If they can keep this up, they've got championship qualities.
Yeah.
And they have just made the bracket so much more interesting, so much more unpredictable than I could have ever hoped for.
I'm sure revenge is tasting quite sweet right now for Loud as well, but still, jobs don't finish, plenty more to do. We're going to send it down to Desk as well to break down the series that we have just witnessed. Take it away, guys.
Oh, guys, they've done it. They've done it. Mimi, Baller, this is the revenge match we were talking about. They actually managed to secure it and look great doing it as well.
From losing an 11-3 comeback against Fnatic at Lock-In, falling off the face of the earth in Tokyo, Loud have come back in such a way and given Fnatic their first loss at a global event this year.
That's just crazy. And I did not expect that at all, to come out on Lotus when I was, coping about the fact that Fnatic are 100% going to take that map because of how strong they've been, despite losing to Loud in the past on that. There was no way in my mind that that was going to happen in a 2-0.
Yeah, what a testament to Loud as well. We keep talking about how they're back, but Mimi, they're in championship title defending form now.
They absolutely are. I mean, in that second map, they didn't just win Lotus, they did it dominantly. Their retakes in that second half in particular were sublime, slowing things down, playing together. The synergy was just perfect from Loud. It really does feel like we're watching the Loud that won Americas, that won Champions last year, that's been missing for so long.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see how far they're going to go from here. But first, let's take a look at our Verizon high-speed moment of the match. And Baller, this was a kind of goaded here, the Astra util paired with the showstopper.
Yeah, it was a really good reaction from Fnatic where they end up pushing them away with the C's. They're falling away. Then the Grauvel comes in, and you can see the C's right here. Just perfect timing on everything. And they rely on these protocols so much. So yeah, great moment for them. But that's kind of where Loud was ripping them apart because they could expect so much of what was coming out. All the calls really good. And when you saw the difference in haunts from Leo versus Kawanzine was getting so much more value in the early rounds because of that.
I think that's also a testament to how impressive this upset is for Loud, because Fnatic, well, I think there was a lot of moments where they were struggling. They are still the team that had that 10-map win streak on Lotus. I think defined the meta this year on this map.
Yeah, and I feel like it comes down to the fact that players like Aspas is also on form again. Again, if we take a look at his stats here, first map, he was absolutely incredible, and Mimi, second map, the consistency goes on.
Again, just talking about the return of Loud, everyone coming back into form. There's no one else you look at except this guy and what he's managed to pull off. I think Loud got a lot of critique for the agents they were playing, for taking Aspas off of the Jet, for switching all this up, and I think rightfully so. But this is one of those series where when he's playing the Jet, he looks great. When he switches over to the Raze on map number 2, he looks comfortable as well. He's in great form.
Yeah, I was ready to hit the alarm bells after group stage in terms of like Loud's actually making out because Aspas was not performing up to that level that we saw today, but he absolutely went toe-to-toe with Dirk, actually dominated Dirk in my mind. Dirk kind of disappeared on the first map, and Aspas was the guy who's really taking it to him, and then on Lotus he continued.
Yeah, and how poetic it is that Les, he gets to definitively say now that he is better than Alpha in this matchup.
I don't know about that one.
Speaking of Les, he is standing by with Golden Boy in the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you so much, crew. Give it up for Les. Wow. I did not see that one coming. Brilliant job there by Loud. But firstly, it was really weird to hear that, Fnatic so favored in this matchup here. Did it feel weird to kind of be the underdog going into a game, considering how good you guys have been all throughout Americas? Is that a bizarre feeling?
Primeiramente, parabéns pela vitória de vocês. Foi pouco estranho ver que parece que tinha favoritismo por parte do lado da Fnatic. Foi sentimento estranho estar nessa posição de que a galera tá torcendo e dando o favorito para os outros.
Sinceramente, é muito bom estar nessa posição de underdog, né? Querendo ou não, a pressão fica pro lado dos caras. Então, meio que não era para ser tanto assim, né? Eu sinto que nosso time é muito forte ainda assim, mesmo com a derrota no Japão. Mas é muito bom a sensação de ser underdog.
Actually, being honest, I'm very happy to be in that situation.
Yeah.
Because being an underdog takes out the whole pressure and everything else from our shoulders.
Yeah.
And overall, our team is very strong, and I'm very happy with the result we brought.
Yeah, and the results speak for themselves. Not only did you win, but you won 2-0. Was there a feeling that in the map picks and bans that you got exactly what you wanted? Because it felt like you had a strategy for Ascent and you were more than prepared for them on Lotus, which is a great map for Fnatic.
Então, vocês ganharam de 2-0, vocês desde o Pix and Ban, vocês estavam confiantes com a seleção de mapas, porque parece que vocês tiveram uma estratégia muito boa para Ascent e estavam lá para pegar na Lotus também. O que foi?
O nosso draft era muito parecido, né? Eles gostavam muito de Lotus e a gente também gosta muito de Lotus. Eles gostam de Ascent, a gente gosta de Ascent. Então, querendo ou não, ia ser um draft muito parecido. E a gente já estudou muito eles, querendo ou não, e eles são um time que muda pouca coisa, sabe? Eles focam muito mais no padrão deles, então a gente já meio que sabe o estilo de jogo deles desde o bloquinho. Então, querendo ou não, a gente se adaptou mais fácil.
Overall, it was an easy adaptation for them because both have like similar picks. Usually, they like Lotus. We like Lotus. They like ascent. We like ascent, and we've been studying like their moves for a while. So it was all the matter for us to bring up the best game we could in order to achieve what we got.
All right. Well, that's good to know. And then, you know, now that you have proven that you can take it to one of the best teams in the world in Fnatic, is it safe to say that Loud is finally back?
E agora que vocês conseguiram entrar em combate com os melhores do mundo antes da nave, agora vocês com Fnatic, você consegue dizer que a Loud voltou?
Cara, é uma coisa meio forte de se falar, né? Porque joga uma pressão muito grande pra gente. Então eu vou falar que a gente vai fazer nosso trabalho e, se Deus quiser, nós ganhamos isso daí, né?
Well, it's a very strong statement to give to say that Loud is back, but I would rather just say that we're gonna be doing our best and bring the best game that we can.
Well, I think I speak for myself and everyone in here when I say I think Loud's back. So
ele vai falar pra ele mesmo, mas ele acha que a Loud voltou, olha pra galera e é isso aí.
We're gonna wrap up things over here. Back to you guys.
This is the rematch to end all rematches. What has Loud learned since that 3-11 heartbreak? And do they have what it takes to get their revenge?
He's weakened here. There it is. Time to strike. And the pre-fire into the corner has surely done enough. Revealed and deleted everything. This is for the map. 7 bullets dropping down, a tap onto it less, seeking to try and force the fight out. It's played to perfection. They got to get a move on here, and the flash is magnificent. It's curtains for map 1. Loud, a fantastic beginning to this series. It's just left up to Leo. You can see where the trail's pointing him into the corner, dodge to the side. Les is not lacking the confidence. No stopper in the hands of Durka. If there is any presence here, they want to go for it. Okay, why not? Straight into them! Utility will be dragged out of them here, but Fnatic are just playing this so excellently. As diligence shown still, they bait poster out wide into the open. Double util! It's all being covered. And Loud have done it at 2-0 to take out Fnatic in the first match of playoffs here at Champions. Loud may have fallen on hard times, but old habits die hard. They have come into rare form at the beginning of playoffs.
Bringing in a new roommate to save money, is that the plan?
Well, we gotta find some way to save, so say hi to Glenn from work. Hey, that's my mom.
Yeah, I think I have a much better plan. We switched to my plan from Verizon for just $25 per line.
And that price is guaranteed for 3 years.
All on the network we can count on.
It's a good plan.
It is a good plan. Glenn, looks like we're not gonna be needing you, so I'll see you at work.
Later, Glenn.
Save big with my plan, starting at just $25 when you bring your own phones. Guaranteed for 3 years. It's your Verizon.
VALORANT 冬の陣千秋楽誇りをかけた戦いを
What a clutch from Celsius!
その目で見届けろ
What is that from Stella?
世界との取り組み幕開く両国国技館にて開催